Hi, I'm Modhep, joined once again by Kiddo in Space, and this is part 2 of Conversations in Rohmer. Today we are discussing Le Genou de Claire.
Rohmer's fifth moral tale. The film is about a dude who loves a girl for her knee. Well, it's about much more than that. But, you know, it is a pretty great knee.
Kiddo. Are you wearing the same clothes as when we discussed La Collection news?
Oh. I guess I am. Well, aren't you wearing the same thing too?
No, of course not. I have like 5 of this same outfit.
Right. So, shall we get on with the discussion then?
Smashing idea.
Right. Well, I liked Le Genou de Claire more than La Collection news. You said there was something about La Collection news that drew you in, but you didn't know exactly what it was. I understand now. I got carried away by it. What was it? Characters? Themes? Situations? Maybe all of them. Here we are with another of Rohmer's moral tales, and we are presented with the questionable sense of morality coming mainly from Jerome and Aurora. They start this game all the other characters get into without knowing. Jerome starts playing with Laura's feelings, pretending to fall in love with her. She's attracted to him and Jerome is attracted to her, but it's all for the sake of giving Aurora a story. Then, about halfway through the movie, we get Claire and her knee. Soon Jerome forgets about Laura and focuses on Claire. I find this relationship quite interesting. Jerome just wants to touch Claire's knee, he desires her, but only for that. Nothing more. It's just physical attraction. During this game there's one important element, love. This may be a moral tale, but it is also a study of love. Physical attraction, friendship, its nature, etc. All of this is discussed and shown throughout the film.
I, too, picked up on the study of attraction's nature. What I found most interesting, and actually laugh out loud funny as well, was how Jerome interacted physically with the women. As intended by Aurora, like you indicated, these girls seem playthings for Jerome. He takes no issue firmly and familiarly taking their forearms in his hands or draping his arm around their shoulders. To an extent, it even seems that he enjoys playing with Laura because the idea of a girl crushing on him is more than enough to intrigue him. Yet, when true attraction, even if it is sheerly lust, is felt for Claire, he becomes anxious about carrying on his practices with her and even jealous and threatened by the other males around him. I also felt the mention of Don Quixote's notorious blindfold was telling of many things to come. Not only are the girls obviously being blindfolded to Aurora's intentions, but Jerome is blindfolded as well, coasting through life, letting his surroundings make decisions for him, not worrying, or not realizing, how those decisions reflect on him as a person. He even goes as far as to criticize others for things he is a culprit of himself. There's no question he is unknowingly opening his own eyes with his ultimate encounter with Claire as opposed to opening hers. His rationalization to Aurora is that he was fully aware of the real situation all along. But this rationalization is more self-manipulation than anything.
Jerome plays with the girls, just like in Aurora's tennis ball story. Then, Aurora starts all these games with Jerome. Just to get a good story to write? Lack of morality? Or a twisted one?
I feel Rohmer's characters are approached from a very objective standpoint. We're not supposed to necessarily like any of them. Perhaps we will empathize in certain situations, but more than anything, we learn. Incidentally, the absence of narration did not seem felt much, since Jerome says everything he may have narrated to Aurora, to a nearly identical effect. Now, moving on to aesthetics. Le Genou de Claire works from a somewhat more vibrant color palette than La Collection news, but I didn't find it visually superior. Where Rohmer has abandoned narration, he seems also to experiment with a more mobile camera. The characters move more and the camera follows, as opposed to the more stationary situations in Le Collectionneuse. That said, I did like the callback of Le Collectionneuse's shot of a porch through open French doors, which was one of my favorites. Additionally, I wonder why Rohmer works in 4:3. It did work surprisingly beautifully in Le Collectionneuse, but I kept finding myself wanting a wider ratio here. All said and done, I prefer Le Collectionneuse to Le Genou Declare, but this one was quite good as well. I might have liked to see more of Laura, even after she was relegated to the background, since I found her naivete regarding her perspective on men interesting.
To me, Rohmer's movies are completely about the characters. For obvious reasons I can't say he does this with all his movies, but sometimes, directors can be quite constant. I see Rohmer's characters as a reflection of real people's behavior. You said it perfectly when describing Adrian in our previous conversation. We tend to act like him. Here we can also see human tendencies, this time how we manage love and relationships, but not only that, it's also a study of relationships themselves. Friendship, attraction and love. In one event. And Rohmer does it with such care, detail and subtlety, that it's just great.
From a more subjective stance, how do you feel about Jerome? Honestly, he gives me the willies. Just scrubbing through the DVD for screen caps gave me a wobbly feeling in my stomach. Well, okay, maybe that was the 4 pounds of hamburger I ate. But still. He's icky. When he planted a beardy smooch on Laura in the mountains, I felt my skin crawl. It's interesting when Laura described her distaste for men her own age. She was basically describing Jerome, but her proverbial blindfold prevented her from realizing it. She chalks her romantic interest in him up to a longing to fill the void left by her absent father. When Jerome goes along with that, even if it may be just for the sake of Aurora's story, it just makes him that much creepier. And the intent way he was rubbing the titular knee. Blag. Actually, I get the impression Rohmer himself has a leg fetish. In Le Collectionneuse, the shot of Ida rubbing her legs in the shallows oozed sexuality, and it is obviously taken further here as the knee obsession drives nearly half the film.
Jerome made me uneasy during his scenes with Laura, although I'm not sure if he did all that for real attraction or just Aurora's game. This, of course, doesn't make his action less wrong. He just wants to touch her knee. Just that, though. Not sex or relationship. That's what I found interesting. Pure attraction, nothing more, but why? That's the question.
My gut reaction was that touching the knee was essentially sex for Jerome. Speaking of Claire though, she reminded me in a sense, particularly during her introductory scene, of Ludivine Sagner's Julie, from François Ozon's Swimming Pool. The proceedings catalyst being an author's writer's block makes me wonder more specifically if Le Genou Declare directly influenced Swimming Pool. I also feel like I caught Woody Allen vibes in there. So, simply judging from the two films we've taken in thus far, it would seem Rohmer likes to place his characters apart from traditional reality. They're always on vacation, attempting to set their quote-unquote real life aside. Are they likely to do less rational, thereby more interesting things on these vacations?
Maybe it's because during vacations we often step apart from our routine. It's a good time for things like this to happen. Maybe such things wouldn't happen in our daily lives since we are surrounded by familiarity and the everyday doings, like work, school, etc. Surroundings tend to modify behavior.
I certainly agree there. It's safe to say Rohmer is 2 for 2 with us, although where you preferred Le Genou Declare, I preferred Le Collectionneuse. On to L'amour l'après-midi to round out our trio.
Yes.
Okay. See you next time on
Conversations in Rohmer.
Hee hee hee.
Hee hee hee.
Hee hee hee.
Hee hee hee.
Hee hee hee.